What was given before? They say, in quotes, ritualism, which is the Catholic Church, small c, ritualism, small c, symbolism, the Masons and that type of group, and mysticism, the Rosicrucians in that group. Those are the three. And then they go on to explain the Catholic Church, that means universal, by the way, small c. The universal church, the church that holds the true spirit of what a church is, be it Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Islamic, or any other religion, they are charged with the understanding, the ritual, the form, the dance, the art of worship. Right now, they understand very little of what they were and what they're supposed to do. So that's ritualism, the churches. Masons and others, the keepers of the symbol, most lost to all understanding. To be found, to be understood, to be disseminated is their task. Give back to the church the understanding of the symbols. That's what the Masons, the people who are going to do symbolism, that's what their job is. So then they go to the third one, Rosicrucians and that type. That was the mysticism. Those who have held the true meaning of mysticism through the cruel inquisition of the Dark and Middle Ages and on. They who understand the need for slow, steady progress, lost in the now society, combine these three, and at that point, everything else becomes history as the new system rolls in. What did they say? They said in the mysticism, they survived through the inquisition of the religions that tried to get rid of them in the Dark Ages and Middle Ages and even today. And those who are dealing with that mysticism thing are secret societies, and they understand the need for slow, steady progress, which is totally lost in this now, I gotta have everything now, which is what you're taught by the wealthy, because when you have to have everything now, they get the money, and you end up with empty pockets. And they say now, those three, if they get together and do their job, then, and only then, we have the new system, and the new system rolls in. And then they can go on with the quote, which is unusual for them to do this, but they did it, and so I'm going to read it. They say, "O you of high position, ask your seers of the future and listen to what they say. For you must now combine, or all is lost and you will save none of it. The sands of time are at their last, and the glass must soon be turned to the new system." See, it's kind of cool. And so here you are waiting for someone to make the change and get things started, when it is you who understands this work. You who understand this work, who are the very ones you seek. History will record it so. If you don't believe it, then turn and walk away. And what they're saying then is, if you don't believe that you're the one that does it, then turn around, walk away, and show us that you don't believe it, and there's somebody else coming, and basically that's what they're saying. Is, how much longer can you live with this dominion before you have had enough? See how much longer you can hold the truth yourself. Once you know this, they're saying you'll have to do something. It's one of the things about knowledge. It's one of the reasons that critical thinking, or thinking of any kind, is rejected by the very wealthy, because once you start to see something, you have to do something about it. You can't just sit there watching TV. So they say, so how is it that you're going to do all this changing? Will there be revolution? Everybody loves that. A war, civil war. We're going to kill those SOBs that have caused us all the problem. And they say, if you can see and see this work, none of this will happen. Rather, a slow change within the system itself. We learned that lesson at Kent State, didn't we? If you don't know what they're saying here, you're not old enough. But it's okay. At Kent State, look it up. The riots at Kent State. where people got killed by the military because they were peacefully demonstrating. I won't go on with that because it's a sad, sad time in our history for us that weren't the government. To go on, then basically what they're saying is that we had a big change, and Kent State was kind of the beginning or the end, maybe the end of our ability to have any control over our life. So what they're saying now is that rather than having revolution or war or civil war or killing this person or that person, what we need is to get the bureaucracies to lose the control that they have over man, and that we would have a change in the philosophy here and a concept there because they work, and the loss of some system or a method or an entrenched way of doing things because it no longer works or never did. We're talking about what the government is doing and what the very wealthy are doing that forces us to take the money out of our billfold or purse and give it to them. And that's the way the change will come. And they say the war isn't out there, the war is within. And in book 1, 2, and 3 they explain that very clearly. The change, well, the real focus and the interesting thing is the change comes inside you. The change in the way you see things, the change in the way you do things, the change in what you tolerate. That's where the change comes, and at that point in time, everything around you changes. So everybody's thinking, we got to change those things that are going on around us. No. This information, this group that gave this information, or whoever, says the change comes from you in the way you think and the way you see internally. Obviously, you can't have maybe you can, civil war within you, a war against yourself, a war against all those things that you've been taught that aren't true, a war against everything, start all over again, get things to start working your way. Will the world be perfect? No. Will there be heaven on earth? No, absolutely not. When you understand why we're here, you understand why that has to be. But there's a change needed? Yes. It's too hard to do what we're supposed to be doing here with things the way they are. And what the information given says is that that's what has to change. It isn't, we're not going to change everything. If you do everything that's in Book 4, and I hope you do, but if we did everything that was in Book 4, life would be so much easier for us. We'd live a lot better, and we'd begin to work on the things that we're here to do rather than buy things. And like I said many times, and I'll say many times, and so do they, you got to read the whole of Book 4 before you understand, because everything's, it's a spider web. This is connected to that, that's connected to that, and you say, oh, this won't work because... Oh, I see. Over here they changed that too. So, wow, maybe it will work. And what you get to understand is, oh, maybe it will work.